Today's our accountancy class is from the textbook Volume 3 Analysis of Financial Statement. The chapter which we are going to discuss is Financial Statement of a Company. Financial statements of a company. To know what is financial statement, let us go through a definition. The financial statements provide a summary of accounts of a business enterprise. The balance sheet reflecting the assets, liability and capital as on a certain date. An income statement showing the results and operation during a certain period. This definition is given by John N. Mayer. Balance sheet and income statement are the two parts of financial statements. Balance sheet shows the position of the company and income statement shows the results, that is profit or loss of a company during a certain period. First of all, let us see the format of a balance sheet, which is prescribed in Part 1 of Schedule 3 of the Companies Act 2013. Here in this format, the first thing which will come is the name of the company. Then we have to write the balance sheet as at, that is the date. It may be 31st March 2020. Here you can see there are 4 columns. The first is for particulars. The second one, note number. The third one is for representing the current year figure. And the fourth column represents the previous year figure. In our +1 class, we have studied the format of balance sheet, which was horizontal in format. But in companies, the format of balance sheet is vertical in format. The balance sheet is divided into 2 parts. The first part consists of equity and liability, and the second part consists of assets. In equity and liability, there are 4 subparts like shareholders fund, share application money pending allotment, non-current liability and current liability. The first 2 parts consist of equity, and the third and fourth part consist of liability. Assets is subdivided into 2 parts, that is non-current asset and current asset. There is also subdivision of each of these items. There is a subdivision in shareholders fund. The first one is share capital. The second one reserves and surplus. Third one money received against share warrant. There is no classification in share application money pending allotment. Then if we are moving further, the third point, that is non-current liability, there is subdivision, as first one is long-term borrowing, second one deferred tax liability, third one other long-term liability, and fourth one long-term provision. The fourth point, which is current liability, it is again subdivided into 4, that is short-term borrowings, second one trade payables, third one other current liability, and the fourth one short-term provision. So this is the sub-classification or subdivision of equity and liability. In asset, we have divided assets as non-current asset and current asset. In non-current assets, there are subdivision too. That is fixed asset, which is further divided as tangible asset, intangible asset, capital work in progress, intangible asset under development. Then the second one is non-current investment, deferred tax assets, long-term loans and advances, and the fifth one, other non-current asset. In current assets, they are subdivided as current investment, inventories, trade receivables, cash and cash equivalents, short-term loans and advances, and other current assets. Next, we are going in brief with the explanation of main and sub-point with examples. Share capital, which is one of the subhead of shareholders fund. Share capital means amount received by the company against shares issued for subscription. They are further classified as authorized capital, which is also known as nominal capital. This is that part of capital which is mentioned in the memorandum of a company, and it is a maximum amount of share capital of a company. Then comes issued capital. Capital that a company issues from time to time for subscription. Then comes subscribed capital. Such part of capital which is for the time being subscribed by the member of the company, which is again classified into 2. Subscribed and fully paid up, and subscribed but not fully paid up. Next is reserves and surplus, which is also a subhead related to shareholders fund. Reserve means amount set aside or out of profits and surpluses to meet future uncertainties, prospective losses, or to strengthen financial position. Some of the examples related to reserves are capital reserve, capital redemption reserve, securities premium reserve, debenture redemption reserve, revaluation reserve, shares option outstanding account. Capital reserve, that it is created out of capital profit. An example given is profit on sale of fixed asset. Then comes capital redemption reserve. When a company purchases its own share, Section 69(1) of the Companies Act 2013 requires that a sum equal to the face value of the share so purchased should be transferred to capital redemption reserve. Then comes securities premium reserve. It is an amount received in excess of face value of the securities which is credited to it, that account. Debenture redemption reserve, it's a reserve credited by the amount prescribed under 71 clause 4 of the Companies Act 2013 before redemption of debenture commence. Revaluation reserve is a reserve which is credited by the upward revision of the book value of asset. Share option outstanding account is a reserve to which difference between the market value and issue price of the shares issued to employees credited. That is, market value, difference between the market value is 75 and the shares which is given to issue to our employees is 50 rupees. So the difference between these two amount is 25, which will be credited to shares option outstanding account. You don't have to worry about this reserve because these reserves we will be studying in the chapters related to this shares and debentures in brief. Next item is non-current liability. They are also subclassified as long-term borrowings, deferred tax liabilities, other long-term liabilities, long-term provisions. Some of the examples of long-term borrowings are debentures, bonds, term loans, public deposits, and loans and advances. You can see the examples for other long-term liabilities and long-term provision also. Next is current liability. You know what is current liability? The liability which we have to pay within a period of 1 year. So the classification related to current liabilities are short-term borrowings, trade payables, other current liabilities, and short-term borrowings. Examples you can see here: short-term borrowings, that is loans repayable on demand, bank overdraft, loan taken from other parties which should be repayable within 12 months, deposits, and here also the loans and advances are there. So you may be given a date to specify, or some specification will be given so that you can classify it as short-term borrowing or long-term borrowing. Then comes trade payables. There are two items related to trade payables, that is sundry creditors and bills payable. Then other current liabilities, some examples you can note down, and short-term provision also some examples are given to you. Under asset we have non-current asset, which is subclassified as fixed asset, non-current investment, deferred tax asset, long-term loans and advances, other non-current assets. Fixed asset is again classified into 4, that is tangible asset. You know some of the examples of tangible asset: land, building, and all that. Intangible asset like goodwill, trademark, patents, and all that. Then comes capital work in progress. That means if building is under construction, that will come under the classification capital work in progress. Then intangible asset under development. Then comes non-current investment. That examples are investment in properties or in some government bond or shares or bonds, and investment in debentures or mutual fund will be classified under non-current investments. Then comes deferred tax asset net. That will be, the amount will be given to you, just have to write it in that column. Then long-term loans and advances. Some of the examples are capital advance and security deposits. Then comes other non-current assets, unamortized expenses, losses, insurance claim, receivable, etc. Some of the examples of this. Next comes current assets. It is classified as current investments, inventories, trade receivables, cash and cash equivalents, short-term loans and advances, and other current assets. Current investments are those investments whose maturity period is less than 12 months or within 12 months. Inventories, which is also known as stock, is classified as raw materials, work in progress, finished goods, stock in trade, stores and spares, loose tools. Trade receivables is classified into debtors and bills receivables. Cash and cash equivalents are classified as bank balance with banks, check, draft on hand, cash in hand, bank deposits. Short-term loans and advances, which are expected to be realized within 12 months from the date of balance sheet. Then other current assets, examples are prepaid expenses, dividend receivables, and advance tax. Then comes contingent liabilities and commitments. Contingent liabilities are those liabilities which may or may not arise because they are dependent on a happening of an event. Examples are claim against the company not acknowledged as debt. Then commitment means financial commitments due to activities agreed to by the company to be undertaken by it in future. These two items are not a part of the format, but if it happens or if it arises, we have to show it in our answers. Let us do one problem related to this topic. You can see here, under which heads the following items will be placed in the balance sheet of a company as per Schedule 3, Part 1 of the Companies Act 2013. And some items is given to you. So the solution for this question is you have to prepare a box for a neat presentation. Items one by one we can write here. The first one is cash in hand. Cash in hand. Cash in hand, as you know, is one of the item related to current asset. So let us see here. You can see that current asset. So cash in hand is coming under cash and cash equivalent. What is a major head related to this is current assets. So let us write here current assets, and the subhead for the cash in hand is cash and cash equivalent. Cash and cash equivalents. The second item is mining right. So here you can see it is an item coming under assets. In assets, it has a heading fixed asset. Under fixed asset, there is intangible asset. So here you can see it's mining right coming under the subhead fixed asset, that to intangible asset. The major head related to mining right is non-current assets. So let us write here non-current assets, and the subhead is fixed assets, and in fixed asset we again have subheads. So under that, intangible assets. Third one is debenture redemption reserve. You know that if we are looking into the balance sheet format, all the reserves and surplus are shown under equity and liability. So the main head related to this is shareholders fund. Debenture redemption reserve should with the major head shareholders fund. So let us write here shareholders fund, and the subhead is reserve and surplus. The fourth item, that is office equipment, This is an asset. Office equipment is an item related to tangible asset. So the main head, can you guess? Non-current asset. And the subhead, yes, it's tangible asset. And under fixed asset, write down tangible asset. Tangible assets.